Hey guys, my name is Stacy, though you probably already know that. I'm a 16-year-old girl who's addicted to comic books, loves to watch TV, and just can't seem to get over the deaths of several fictional characters. My favorite food is mac and cheese, and this is really starting to sound like one of those online dating websites. Moving on. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. It's a really nice place full of interesting things that are unique to that fair city. For example, where else would you see a fountain that looked like it had portraits of faces, but every once in a while would blink and spit water? The thing that I love most about Chicago, besides my friends, was the comic book store, Chicago Comics. I have been going there since as long as I could remember. Some of my most distinct memories are of sitting cross-legged on the floor right up by the front window with a pile of kids' comics by my side, while I wait for my mom to stop gossiping about the latest news in the geek community with the two guys that own the store. Both named Derek, by the way. See, the thing is, my mom is the person in my family who's most into comic books. Most people assume it's my dad, but she's the one who has the entire comic book collection that spans the wall of my garage. She would drag us to Chicago Comics at least once every 2 weeks so she could pick up our comics, and so Stephanie and I could get the latest issues of Teen Titans Go, the Powerpuff Girls, Justice League Unlimited, and any other titles my mom would let us get. You know, it's weird how virtually all the comics in DC's kids line were based on cartoons that showed on Cartoon Network. Something you should absolutely know about my family is that we are a strictly DC family. That stands for Detective Comics, just FYI. My sister and I have gotten into the Avengers and the X-Men comic books after we moved here to California, but we don't order those issues monthly. Not that anything's wrong with Marvel, you should just know where my family's allegiance lies. I met my best friend Holly halfway through 6th grade, and she's the only one who got me into the X-Men comics. Because her birthday party, one year, we had a sleepover, and it had an X-Men movie marathon. You know, the really bad live-action ones that came out a couple of years ago. But they had the perfect Wolverine, except that Hugh Jackman's like way too tall. Wolverine is quite short, and people seem to forget that. Ever since then, she's been the one way into Marvel comic books. If she has a question about who's who in DC, she comes to me, and if I have a question about who's who in Marvel, I go to her. We've been comic book loving friends ever since. My family's biggest interest is traveling. We love to travel. We've been to places all over the U.S., more national parks than I can count, and many, many small towns out in the middle of nowhere just to see some sort of national landmark or world's largest something or other. We've been to the biggest ball of twine made by one man in Minnesota and to Carhenge in Nebraska. That's right, we've been to both a giant ball of twine and Stonehenge made out of cars. Who's cool now? My family's also been to Canada quite a few times, since my family's Canadian and all our relatives live there. We also watch a ton of Canadian TV. SCTV, anybody? We just went there this summer because of my cousin's wedding. It was really nice to see all my relatives again after such a long time. The last time my family went to Canada, I was 9, and now I'm 16, so it's been quite a while. There were only 2 times that my family's left the continent, and that was when we went to Italy, Greece, and England. My family traveled around Italy and Greece for 3 weeks this summer in between 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I had a blast. My sister and I are really into Greek mythology, so it was really neat to be able to go see the famous cities and places that are mentioned in the myths. Italy was really nice, and the Vatican is one of the coolest places in the world. My family went to London, England for 1 week in April during 8th grade, so my parents could go to one of their oldest friends' 50th birthday parties. Since my parents' friend lives in Cambridge, we were actually only in London for 3 days, and we slept through the first one. We did still get to see Big Ben in the Tower of London, though. We also got to see the changing of the guards. The best thing, however, is combining travel and comic books. My family loves going to conventions, and by family, I mean everybody except my dad. My family went to WonderCon a couple of years ago. WonderCon is Comic-Con's smaller cousin that's down here in San Francisco, except for the last 2 years when it's been in Anaheim because the Moscone Center has been under construction or has had bad scheduling. I mean, geez, Moscone, get it together. My family's also been to Comic-Con. We went for 1 day in 2010, and it was one of the best days of my life. Everything you've heard about Comic-Con is true. There were so many people to talk to and so much cool stuff to buy. We also got to see the Doctor Who season finale earlier than anybody else. This February, I'm going to Gallifrey 1, the biggest Doctor Who convention in North America. Mark K. Shepard and Arthur Darvill are going to be there, and I'm so excited. Yep, my life is pretty sweet.